I was watching this film where the power went out in this hospital and it was just really creepy and... What the... You turn the lights out. Put them back on. Ah! Let's just get on with this review. What is up everyone, Movie Wayne back again with another review. This is going to be for the 2021 Shudder original, The Power, and this is directed by Corinna Faith and stars Rose Williams, Davine Henry and Amy Beth Hayes. Now this tells the story of a young nurse who must work the night shift at a hospital during the miners' strike across Britain, meaning there is no power whatsoever, yet something lurks in the dark hallways. Now as soon as I heard about this film, I was interested straight away. I love the concept and the fact that it's a horror movie taking place in a hospital. I don't think there's many better locations you can set your horror movie in, to be honest. And this is also a British film, so I had something in the back of my mind telling me that we might get something a little bit different here, but I thought it had all the makings to be a great movie. And this all started off really well, actually. Rose Williams was a brilliant casting choice as our lead protagonist, Val, with this distinct and unique look about her. She has this innocent personality as this young nurse and this strong British accent, and she was just a really interesting character, I thought. And she has this screen presence about her too, and she just leads the viewer down these dingy, creepy hallways, and when the camera is focusing on her, I feel like The Power is at its best. Speaking of the filmmaking, I thought Corinna Faith done a really good job in the director's chair for at least half the movie. There were some things I didn't like, which I'll get to in a minute, but I thought she captured the eerie and empty atmosphere of this scary looking hospital really well, actually, and I thought that was an important part of the movie. So like I said, it's what got me excited in the first place, and she nailed that down, I thought. And she also captured the 70s feel really well. The beige looking paint just peeling off the walls and the rusty pipes just plastered everywhere. Felt like I was in 1974, put it that way. There's also some interesting side characters as well here. The matron, who isn't exactly Nurse Ratched, but she has this overruling personality and someone you just don't mess with, really. And the other nurse, played by Amy Beth Hayes, who is getting into little squabbles with Val over this doctor that they both like. And she's trying to put her foot down. There was some interesting dialogue to go along with that. And it was all setting up nicely, I felt. And when the power actually goes out, this hospital that feels like a location of dread is only amped up even more, and Val is asked to go down a couple of floors on her own to get these beds. And I really didn't think she was going to come back. I was like, fuck that shit, there's no way I'd be going down there. So as a viewer, I felt like this was a haunting place, and this film was doing so well. Unfortunately, that's where all the positives of this film kind of come to an end. All that built up tension and great filmmaking I just put to one side here, thrown out the top floor of this hospital window, and this movie takes a massive nosedive and just falls apart. Now this is for two reasons. The first reason is this backstory that is introduced. I just didn't care for it whatsoever. I don't know if it was the way the movie was putting it across, but it just wasn't working for me. I know Corinna Faith was trying something a little bit different there, but that doesn't always mean it's going to work. And for me, it just didn't. And the way it has an impact on Val as a person in this movie, yeah, just wasn't hitting the right notes, I'm afraid. The second reason is this film starts to rely way too heavily on jump scares. Yes, it goes straight down that road there that all these generic horror movies lately do. I just don't know why horror films do this. I mean, if you look at Midsommar or Hereditary, they're two of the best horror films of the past decade, and they don't rely on jump scares. They are very creative, like, using atmosphere and playing on your mind. That's what works for them films, and this just does what every other film does. And sometimes I feel like that's why people just can't take horror too seriously, because it just relies on cheap ass thrills, and I'm kind of done with them now. I don't mind the odd one when it's done right, but they're not done well here at all, and you can see them coming a mile off. All in all, because of this, the second half of this film is the biggest negative of The Power overall. I was invested, and then it just suddenly became a bit of a slog to get over the finish line. I felt like the movie tangled itself up within its story, and if that wasn't enough, the ending doubled that knot, because wow, that was one weak-ass climax. At the end of the day, I just feel like this film is made by two different directors, unfortunately. Now, I know Corinna Faith has it in her locker after that first half of the film. You know, really nice filmmaking, capturing atmosphere and stuff, but it's like she trips over her own feet in the second half. Kind of like when the power goes out in the film, it went out in the director's chair and she just had to guess. That's my best way of putting it anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give The Power a 5 out of 10. If you're a big horror fan, you might see this a little bit differently than I did. I mean, I'm a big horror fan myself, but personally, I just feel like I'd seen this all before. At the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for The Power is, well, I just couldn't find any at all on the internet, so I put 2 and 2 together. Rose Williams, who plays Val in this movie, also starred in an episode of Casualty, which also takes place in a hospital. Okay guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want to subscribe, it's up to yourself. We've got a lot more videos coming, lots more reviews, and if you want to comment about The Power, leave it down below and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy guys. I'll see you all in the next video.